Let's go. Thank you for the attendance. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see a lot of friends and family. Thank you for coming. Let's start by introducing ourselves. My name is Chewy. I run Street Thing, and I'm a dear friend of everybody here. I'm happy everybody agreed to do this because this is something very special that we talk about. We want to bring this story and share this story with everybody because this is the first time we talk about collaboration behind closed doors, meaning the untold stories, like the Netflix series Untold. Now we're gonna bring you the untold stories. So everybody just take a round of like introducing yourself, just in case people do not know you. Let's go. You, superstar. Let's go.
No. So thank you everybody for coming. Can you hear? You guys can. Okay, softer. So my name is Mandeep. I am one of the partners in Culture Cartel, and also I run a sneaker store called Limited Edition in Singapore.
Mic check, check. Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Ong, aka Mr. Sabotage, and I'm a sneaker designer, and I do streetwear and creative director of my own label, Sabotage. Thank you.
はい、日本から来たミタスニーカーズの国です。クリエイティブディレクターをやってます。よろしくお願いします。
Hello, my name is Shigeyuki Kuni. I'm a creative director from Mita Sneakers, which is a Tokyo sneaker store.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you for coming. And the topic today we're going to talk about collaboration behind closed doors. Most of the people probably want to know like how difficult it is to get a collaboration. Man, let's start with you because you are probably the first Singapore sneaker store that get a collaboration. So how difficult was it to get the first collaboration for limited edition?
To be very, very honest, it was very difficult. I think the first one we did was 2006 with New Balance. And I think that was the first time a Southeast Asia store had collaborated with any big brand. And it is difficult, but sometimes it's about knowing the right people or people with passion who kind of, you click with. And I think that made it happen. We had a good relationship with New Balance. But if I was to put it in perspective, us, Singapore being a really, really small country, it is so much more difficult. All due respects to Japan and other countries, but they were very, very established. They're the traditional powerhouse when it came to sneakers, and I'm not saying it was more difficult, but obviously with that, it was being established. I think it's easier to get things done from the big markets. Singapore being so small, it really took a lot of effort and convincing that we knew what we were doing and we could also transcend. And the cool thing is, I think once we started, it kind of opened the doors for other Southeast Asia countries too. So,
Respect. Yeah. And shout out to Eugene. Eugene and the Team New Balance who made it happen, shout out.
100%.
Yeah. How about you, Mark? I mean, Mark, you were probably the first in Singapore or Southeast Asia to have a Dunk SB collaboration. It was a big thing. Shout out to Dennis because he was supposed to be here. Yeah. We wanted to tell the story, but it's okay. You can tell your part of the story.
So, to this topic, behind closed doors, we want to, the Dunk SB that I did was very much talked about, even after more than 15 years after. And when I was like 26 years old when I got that collab. And can you imagine how young that is to get a Nike collab? And yeah, this is the one. So this puts Singapore on the map, right? So so as much as it is like great for myself, it has like so much more impact. It causes so much more ripples. It's like I guess a lot of people say, hey, I want to be a sneaker customizer as well. Yeah, and there's Dennis Tan is not here. I really wished he was here, but he has to go back to the Philippines for a family emergency. Otherwise, we would have like a more, a conversation about this collaboration.
I think the backstory, just to make some context, Dennis of Titan supposed to be here. So Dennis, he was the OG that worked on Dunk XB back in the early 2000 in Nike Southeast Asia. So he worked with Mark and also Mandim back then to probably make this happen. But of course, they have to work with like global people as well. The Dang XB team back then. So leading up to that, there was a story that maybe some of you didn't know was limited edition supposed to get a Dang SB, right? But I think Man gave Mark a go ahead before his ticket went through. Is that correct, Mark?
So just,
Yeah.
shall I connect?
Sure, go.
So the story with that was, I used to work very closely with Dennis. I still call him a very dear friend. So he headed the kind of the sportswear department back then, and Dang SB was part of that portfolio. So it was like, hey, it was dream. We started Nike SB. We were the first account in Southeast Asia, and hey, after 1-2 years, is hey, why not? Let's try to. It was just think back in the day, it was crazy. Maybe the older generation can remember the SB craze back then, right? With the Tiffany, there was so many great releases. So it's like, hey, why not something come out of Southeast Asia? So, we got to talking. He had a good relationship with the SB team. So the idea was, hey, let's do two. One with Mark and one at LE collab. So Dennis asked me, okay, which one should we do first? So maybe you carry on then.
I've always wanted to say this publicly. Call it apology, friendship, whatever. Mandeep has been so kind. So for like the.
Don't cry, bro. Don't cry.
Yeah,
don't
I'm
cry.
a little
Don't cry.
choked up right here, even though I'm wearing my punk rock jacket. But, so there were two projects on the table back then, 2006. I always felt that I snaked Mandeep's ride for that SB collab to happen. So collaborations are so tricky. Mine went through everything. We did a launch and all that. Later on, I found out that Mandeep had his sample done. Someone from Nike and HQ left, and his project didn't happen. And I always felt so guilty about that. Otherwise, in the history of Singapore, we would have two fucking SB Nike projects. But now we only have one.
It's not over.
It's not
Nike,
over.
Anybody from Nike can pull some strings here. No, but
Shout out
what?
Nike.
It's about timing.
Nike people on the.
No, it's timing, it's luck, but you know what? Never give up, right? Never give up.
Mandeep has never given up. So
Maybe-
I will never give up as well.
I think Man, why don't you, writing on that Dang SB thing, why don't you tell them about one day you came across that sample story? That is something that is very interesting as well.
I wish I brought it here, but basically, all I knew back then was, we did Mark's project and our Dang SB was supposed to have been sampled. So I think about 2 years later, after Mark's project, I was just like surfing the internet and suddenly I saw a picture of a dunk and I did a double take. Oh my God, that's our design. So there was only two in the world and I paid 2,000 US dollars just for the guy to ship it to me and get that. And to me, yes, so it's expensive, but that was mine, that was our history, and although it never happened, at least I got that piece, right?
So you still have that pair in your archive,
I
right?
still have that pair, yes.
Yeah. One day it will come true, man.
Fingers
believe.
crossed. I still believe. So I've done projects with every other brand.
Yep.
But obviously Nike, just growing up with Nike, it's very close to my heart. So I hope one
Yes.
day that happens.
Yeah. Shout out Nike. Okay, let's turn the attention a little bit to our friend from Japan. Yeah. Shige-san, for those of you who do not know, Shige-san from Mita Sneakers has done hundreds of collaboration.
Yes.
Like maybe one.
やってきました。
If you think Ronnie, shout out to Ronnie Fight KITH for King of Collaboration. To me, he's the real deal. He has
OG.
more
He's the
than
OG.
he has more than Ronnie in the count of collaboration.
He's the king of collaboration.
King of collaboration, hands down, hands down. So, first question, okay? Can Shige-san remember how many collaboration he has?
もう全く覚えてないです。
Not at all.
Roughly 200?
でも200ぐらいはやってもっとやってるかもしれない。
Well, 200, 300. He didn't
200
remember.
collaboration. So that's how many collaboration he has done. And for Shige-san, what was his first collaboration project? Can he remember?
最初は、上野のシティアタックって言ってフットスケープナイキのフットスケープでやったのが一番最初で、まあ、それと多分同時期ぐらいにニューバランスの580が、まあ、ちょっとスライドしてやったぐらいかな。
Then my first project was a Nike a footscape project which calls the City Attack, and then at the same time, a little bit later, we do NB New Balance 580 as well.
So a little bit of backstory about Tokyo City Attack. Tokyo City Attack was worked on by a very small team in Nike Japan. There were only 2 store released back in the days. One was Mita Sneakers, another one was Gimme 5 by Michael Kopperman and with the Stussy UK team, you know. So back then, I mean, people like NTO would know, it was very tight that people work on that based on friendship. So before he worked on the 580, when he developed that city pack of the footscape, he put avocado color on the shoe, okay, which later become what Shige-san is wearing, similar like this, which you might have seen it on Nike Huranchi Sushi. And all of that is not by coincidence, and nobody copying nobody. Is paying homage of how the whole Tokyo City bag started with the Stussy crew. Is that correct, Shin-chan? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that is how many collaboration Japan probably have and way advanced of what we can do right here. Okay. Now the next question: how long does it take for a collaboration to happen? So a lot of young brands out there know every now and then they ask me, "Hey Chewy, can you introduce me to New Balance or Asics or even Nike?" Just because my wife works there, I cannot make it happen. But how long does the process take from the day you have a meeting with the brand to the actual release?
I think it probably can vary. I think for me, I'll speak from personal experience, but maybe this especially, especially I think they can do it much better. But for me, the fastest has been a 6 months thing.
Wow, which one was that?
I think like some of my Adidas things were quite fast tracked. So, and the longest was actually a 2-year thing.
I don't remember which one is the 2 years thing.
I think one of my New Balance projects took 2 years. I think the second one, sometimes it's just, samples come in, it doesn't work that way, or, it just goes through many rounds of samples. So it can really vary. But yeah, nothing comes fast, right? And sometimes you want to get it right. So I mean, my advice is don't rush it. Get it like how you want it. And then you see the fruits of you see the results if you do it with your vision in it. Yep.
How about you, Mark? Like what is the fastest and what is the slowest one? And which projects are those?
From my experience, it has always been signing the contract, making the sample, making a second sample if you need, and then launch. So, from my experience, it has always been 1 year. That means 1 year of keeping it secret. Yeah, so.
Shige-san, what is the fastest collaboration time and slowest?
多分そのタイムラインで話をすると、結局そういう企画ができてからサンプルが上がってとか進行するまでっていうか進むまでにすごい時間がかかるけど、一番最初僕がそのコラボレーションした時って本当にメーカーに直接行って直談判してその場でいいじゃんやろうってなったから、だから逆にそのものができるまでの時間っていうよりは結局それを判断する時間が今一番かかるから、だから一番早いのはもうその場で即答だった。
Actually, the most important, most taking time is confirmation because the sales or merchandising person needs to get approval for the company. That means I think it takes more time to productation. So, which Shige says, the fastest project was just at that meeting. He decided to do the collaboration.
At a meeting.
Just second.
How about the slowest, the longest?
一番遅いです。でも3年ぐらいです。
3 years, same as Mandip.
それはその出来上がったモデルの色替え素材替えじゃなくて、もう新規からモデルの開発まで一緒にスタートしてるものだとやっぱそれぐらいはかかっちゃいます。
Actually, the project, which is not changing the color or material update, the product development or innovation, productation with that kind of things is taking much more times, like 3 years, 2-3 years.
2-3 years. Yeah. So we have as fast as what was the fastest? 6 months to 3 years. That's probably.
I think what he said was very key. If it's just a color up, changing the color, that can be much faster. But if it's a whole new model, you're changing certain parts of it, that's going to take much longer.
Have you ever? This is the juicy part. Have you guys ever come across an actual sample that come back and say, "Oh my God, like what? That is totally not what I expected." Mandip, sorry, you are closest to me. You start first, yeah.
100%. And I think both me and Mark share the
Which
same
one you want me? Which one you want? Which one?
So me and Mandip has been working. I think, yeah, I forgot to say, I thought it was 1 year, but this one took like 2-3 years.
Yeah, 2 years, I think.
2 years, 2 years. So we indicated that they wanted pony hair on the shoe, but they came like
Some fur.
They couldn't find coat pony, yeah.
yeah, some fur. I mean, faux pony hair, not real pony hair, but they came back and the thing about collaboration is like the product development team. Sometimes the guy would quit and like go somewhere else, and then we got to restart the project with a new person again, re-have that conversation again, and then that's how some things might delay the time and stuff. So this was one of the projects, but the final one, I don't have it here. This is the sample, the unreleased one, but the final one came out really nice, and it was what we wanted.
Again, I think putting some context into collaboration, a lot of times we think a brand is a person, right? We think Nike is Phil Knight, for example, but a brand has to involve so many people, especially in a collaboration. And any time of that process, someone might quit or someone might be put into another team, and the whole communication is lost, or probably you have to restart the whole thing again. Correct? Yeah. So that is how sophisticated or complicated a process of collaboration that will happen. Yeah.
I also wanted to point out that like collaborations, brands give out collaboration in the form of tickets, right, to different retailers around the world, and there is like only so much that they would allow collaborators to have. So artists, stores, we are all like fighting for that opportunity to get a collaboration. So tickets are really, really valuable.
Shige-san, I think one of the interesting collaboration ideas Shige-san always have is friendship, which is why actually we have the whole concept of archive room, and thanks to Culture Cartel, we can bring friends, cross-border friendship, coming to Singapore to share this piece of the story. So one of his favorite I noticed is doing collaboration with like-minded friends. So is that what Shige-san believe in? Collaboration is like a friendship.
That's
all. The friendship, that's all.
だし、今回のイベントこういうふうに、友達に呼んでもらって本当に嬉しくて、で、今回日本からウィズリミテッドだったりウィニッチだったり、普段僕らのネイバーフッドで遊んでる友達と一緒に来て、その友達とも一緒に作ったアーカイブも持ってくる予定だったし、マークとかとも一緒にやったアーカイブも持ってくる予定だったけど、残念ながら荷物は明日届きます。
Yes, the collaboration, the most important thing is friendship. And then actually we came here because the friend offered us. Actually, mainly Chui, Mark invited Shige, so he said yes. So no reason, just a friendship. And also, we also bring some friends from Tokyo Shitano-san from Wiz Limited, and then Kat-san and from Winich. These are also our close friend, which is playing together and working together in my neighborhood. So every project, and then I think playing also, doing together with a friendship. And then actually, we supposed to bring a lot of archive collaboration, but the product's coming tomorrow, unfortunately. Sorry. Sorry
And
for that.
Touching on friendship, Man and Mark actually also work on a lot of collaboration to. Test. So maybe, Man, you can start by saying, how did you get Mark involved in the beginning?
I mean, the first time I met Mark was 2003. I just opened limited edition. He came into my store and he wanted me to sell some of his custom his custom stuff, and I told him no.
You turned him down.
I rejected him, yes.
Wow.
But then, we got to know each other, and, just on the whole thing, it's friendship, it's like-minded, we have, when it's the same community, it's the same love, it's very easy to work together. But, just to expound on what you said, sometimes nothing is planned, right? And I'm sure these guys will tell you also, sometimes it's, hey, you could be at a dinner with someone, you get along with them, and it's just suddenly, an idea pops up, and, the seed starts from there, right? So I think there's no like, sometimes it's not about planning, right? It just happens, and that's where it's very organic, and I think that's where the best collabs happen.
I agree.
So yeah, I mean, but me and Mark, just throughout the years, we've been very lucky that, we've kind of I've built my own, he's built his name on his own, and that's where when we come together, it's just so much more powerful, and we always talk about it. We kind of represent Singapore. I brought it just now, like we're such a small, tiny dot. But, the fact that we can get things out, I think all of us as local Singaporeans, we have to be very proud, not just about us, but anybody who gets stuff out there. Any young local artists, there's so many up and coming ones, and there's so much potential. And just if any ways we can support their journey, or we inspire them in any small way, and I've met people who say that, I mean, that makes me more proud than anything.
What was the first collaboration you did with Mark?
Oh my God, what was our first?
Oh, what? No, I mean like an official.
Like an official collaboration.
Shit, which one?
Oh my God, there's been so many.
Is it the Reebok?
Is it the Reebok?
The Reebok? I think it could be the Reebok, and then I think Man came up with the name Feline Fury. And I've been using that since for even my own work because it best describes. So that was the first. Was that the first?
I'm just suddenly I'm not thinking.
So okay, let me explain something of the roles around here. So I'm an artist, I'm a designer, and limited edition is the retailer. So artists and retailer always work hand in hand because you need the design, you need the product, and you need the space to sell it. So those are our roles, and we have done several to date, like the Reebok, Feline Fury, the Monsoon Patrol, and the Urban Islander. So I would say these are the three the main ones that we have done together before. So
who makes the shot? Who makes the shot? Hey, bro, I want green color. So how do you guys decide on which?
I think I give Mark a lot of creative control. Of course, I give my input. I think I'm good at creating that general idea of what I want. And then, hey, you do your thing. And again, me being the businessman, I might hold him back a bit and say that I want something a bit more commercial. Because, I mean, that's in my blood, whatever it is. But you know what? I like to do things different and, change things in certain ways. So I think we've just worked very good hand in hand because he knows he has as much creative control, but he knows also he values my input, and that's why it works.
Great. And a bit on the friendship, Shige-san's first collaboration with a Singapore collaborator is Left Foot, right? Shout out to Anthony here from Left Foot.
Shout out.
Yeah. So that collaboration happened over friendship too. Where did Shige-san decide, or I want to do a collaboration with Left Foot.
もちろん。
Yes, we did.
そのアントニーさんとは本当になんか例えばコラボレーションってどういうきっかけで始まるんだろうって思ってる人も多いと思うんですけど、僕なんかコラボレーションを一緒にやろうよっていうことをきっかけにスタートしたコラボはなくて、もともとただ単純に友達としての付き合いが続く中でどうせだったら何か一緒にやろうっていうのが多くて、でアントニーさんとやったコラボレーションもそれの延長線上だったりします。
Actually, everyone asked him, how can we start collaboration with Mita Sneakers or Shigeyuki? Actually, he never got accepted the offer from they want to make some collaboration because every project, every collaboration comes from just a friendship. Actually, he already has a very good friendship with Anthony-san, and then they don't speak about the business things, just a friendship. So Shige-san thought he wanted to do something together with Anthony-san. That changed to be the collaboration. That is a process how we proceed.
Yeah, I think again back to our point, a lot of collaboration born out of real friendship because you trust each other and then you believe in each other's vision. And then after that, after Left Foot, you met Mark, right? And what was the collaboration? Can Shige-san remember? Which shoe?
580ですね。はい。
New Balance 580.
だからこの580っていうモデルは2000年からリアルマッドヘクティックっていうブランドと僕らのトリプルネームでスタートして、でまあヘクティックが、まあ、ブランドとして一旦活動を休止したタイミングで、新しいパートナーと一緒に何かをやりたいなと思ってて、でその時にお願いをしたのが日本のウィズリミテッドとシンガポールのサボタージュマークにオファーをしました。
The first project, talk about it? Okay, so first project with Mark was New Balance 580. Actually, this model, Shige started collab with New Balance and Real Mad Hectic, which is a Japanese street brand. Actually, that collaboration was first time to collaborate a third person collaboration together. That was the first project in that generation. And then actually, Real Mad Hectic didn't stop their working. And then Shige-san was looking for the partner next Real Mad Hectic. And then he decided to offer for Wiz Limited, which is Shitano-san. And also at the same time, he offered for Mark, Sabotage. That's a story.
Oh, so I didn't even know that, and it's what a huge honor it is. Is the 580 born out of Japan? This is a Japanese original model.
580 became so popular because of the collaboration project that was initiated by Shige-san New Balance Japan.
Yes.
So the beginning of 580, you will see a lot of the 580 Mad Hectic collaboration,
Yes.
2C and Mita Sneakers. So they were the originators. So I think Shige-san was carrying the torch of doing the collaboration with the new collaborator like yourself.
Yes.
That is when we, shout out to Shitano-san.
Oh, by the way, me and Chewy are wearing Wiz Limited leather jackets, customized by
the Punk Master.
Yeah, the
For
legendary
Shitano-san,
Punk Master. So
Yes.
we want to shout him out. That's why we were wearing these
Yeah.
jackets.
ちなみに、最初そのマークさんのスタジオに行ったのはアントニーさんとやったコラボレーションのパーティーの後に、連れてってもらったのが最初で、そこで一緒にハングアウトして、その後これが形になった感じです。
By the way, the first touch with Mark was after party with Anthony's collaboration, which is Left Foot collaboration. They went to the party, and then the Mark brought to Shige-san to his studio. That is the first story to contact each other. Then product will release in the futures. That is a story.
That was a long time ago when I
Yeah.
was in Haji Lane. Haji Lane.
When are we going to bring Shige out? Maybe next can be a street thing
Sure.
or a culture cartel or limited edition. Something,
Sure.
You know, like, when can we bring him out?
I think the key takeaway is collaboration always happen in the party. If you keep hearing the thing, party.
In the
so
clubs.
Mandip is a king of party, so I'm sure you get a lot of collaboration. Yeah.
Already, right?
So Mark, when you work with Shige-san, how does it? I mean, you work with Mandip, right? You guys work together and know each other for a long time. But when you work with someone like Shige-san, a Japanese collaborator, how does that design process change?
So obviously, I have already realized that I'm given a ticket, and I understand the magnitude of that opportunity of a ticket being given to me. So I tread very carefully, you know. So I don't say, yeah, I want this, I want that, you know. But like, so what I did with Shige was very simply provided a camouflage pattern, and it's up to him to color the shoe and panel the shoe. And I designed some graphics in the insole. Very interesting graphic in the insole was, so Mita Sneakers icon is that chain link fence. If you notice that the chain link fence exists in all Mita collabs. So what I did was to have each insole have two different characters, and I used a wire cutter to cut a hole in the insole, and we extended the hand to shake the hand. So cross-border friendships.
That's right.
Like that. So the outside of the shoe is mostly colored by Kunisan, and I just added extra to tell the story.
I see a lot of green color from Shige-san, especially Onko Chinshin. So this is iconic. I'm going to take out my sneakers. Onko Chinshin, a very iconic Air Force One, original one. It was Air Force One, displayed by Nike Air Force One, loaned by Mantip, limited edition. So this colorway is a very special meaning that a lot of non-Japanese wouldn't understand Onko Chinshin. Maybe you can explain a little bit on the colorway and the meaning behind it.
まあ、でも一番シンプルに緑の靴は売れないっていうのが日本の定説でそれを覆したかった。
Actually, Shige, the concept is the Onko Chishin, but at the same time, he just wanna sell green shoes because green shoes was sales bad always. He changed the game. He wanna change the game. That's why he used the green color. That's all.
But now, Ima, green color becomes such a popular color, right? So there were a lot of green shoe back then that wasn't selling, but now green has becoming, especially this year, we see a lot of green color like JJJ Jiao, you know, that kind of color that is very popular. But I remember Shige-san told me before, it was also to pay homage to hip hop culture. Green color. Maybe Shige-san can elaborate on that.
そうですね。なので、まあ、僕はイエローだし日本人だけど、そのアフリカントリコっていう部分はやっぱそのヒップホップカルチャーもそうだし、まあ、いろんなカルチャー、そのサンプリングとか DIY とかスケートカルチャーとかいろんなカルチャーからいろんな影響を受けてるから、そこをサブリミナル的には載せたつもりではあります。
Shige respect the culture for hip hop, so he wanna use the African Togo, which is green color mainly. So he wanna respect the culture, and then he used the color as well.
Yes. How about you, Man? Is there a particular color that you think represent limited edition when you do your collaboration? I see a lot of batik. Of course, you paying tribute to the whole batik. Yeah.
I mean, you take your inspiration from everywhere. My first New Balance collab, I took the inspiration from my store and the deco of the store with the deep red and black. So you take, I mean, obviously, in a lot of my collabs, we try to rep Singapore and our culture. I mean, if I point out, so this is like the third collab we did with the kind of a batik kabaya inspired pattern. I'm sure you guys recognize where it comes from, but it's an original print. We didn't copy, and the LE logo is woven inside. You see a Vandermeer's Joachim, the orchid print. So it's an original print, but obviously we take inspiration. And yeah, so this is one of my favorites. And this was our last collab which we just launched. And what I said, you try different things. Maybe something might not be popular, but you try different things. This one was close to me in that we did an NFT project, and it was a charity thing, and we launched, and we had a really nice, cool special packaging. I don't know if you remember, but it was. I'm sure you saw it on
Yes.
the box. There was a basketball which you can get in our booth up there. But it's you take inspiration from anywhere. I don't think we have one distinct thing, but I've always kind of repped Singapore. But I think I'm done with Singapore. Like I think I've kind of done every
I know
single
what you mean,
angle.
yes.
So I guess some of things which I want to do in the future is maybe it can tie back in some way, but I don't want to be so in your
Yeah.
face anymore.
How about you, Mark? Is there like a color that you would? It's like this is the sabotage color that you always would rep.
I think right from the start, it has always been olive green. It's always a bit inspired by militarism or military aesthetics. And I always add a little bit of red, a little bit of orange to make it pop a little bit. So that has become my signature color, and we can see it throughout a lot of my collaborations. So I've always stuck to that.
We are starting to see a shift of collaboration to colorway.
Yeah.
Back in the days in early 2000, a lot of collaboration is based out of story.
Yes.
Like the whole story behind the concept. But now we start to see new collaborators like JJJ Jiang, okay, who's doing very basic color,
Yeah.
yet is doing very well.
Yes.
Do you think, okay, let's start with you, Mark.
Yeah.
Do you think that is an important thing to think about what the current consumer probably receive better versus the storyline of your collaboration?
Yeah, I mean, like as an artist, of course I want to express myself with my own signature print, but sometimes we gotta get creative on how we express ourselves in a way that we don't impose into other people's outfit. We don't want to force feed like, yo, you want my big logo here and all that. I don't believe in that anymore, and I feel that simple, tasteful colorways work very, very well, and but it is up to you to tweak those colors and make it signature at the same time, so that people remember that is done by you.
How about you, Man? Would you change your collaboration mindset just to adapt into the new generation of consumer?
There's never a right or wrong to me. But yes, sometimes simplicity, classic, you can never go wrong. And that's always going to be timeless too, right? You're not force feeding a certain story or what, and it lasts forever. So I think even going into next year, and maybe even in one of the projects me and Mark worked together, I think we took that angle, right? So again, I think sometimes we don't consciously say go with the trends, but sometimes it hits you also that this is what people want. And but yeah, I don't think there's ever any right and wrong. It's just if we can bring a certain vision or we can inspire it somewhere, and that's what we want to showcase. We just hope people resonate with it.
Shige-san?
コラボレーションするときは、個人的には僕は各メーカーさんからそのスニーカーを借りてる身だと思っているので、そこに対してモダンなストーリーを載せてきちんと新しいストーリーテリングができるようにっていうのは常に心がけてるつもりです。
He mentioned the sneaker is owned by sports brand, not mine.
Yeah.
So he rent the sneaker and then put the concept.
Yeah.
So actually he always care about what is more important for the sports brand identity or what's it come from. So he always think about put the story, but respect the sports brand first. That's always.
Very good point. So always respect the sports brand first before thinking about our own collaboration idea. Is that correct? Yeah. And a lot of people might not know, like for example, everybody say, hey, I want to do a Nike collaboration or a Jordan collaboration. First thing they think, I want to do an AJ1, right? So is it as simple as you go to a brand, let's start with you, Mandip, and say, hey, I want to do this is my favorite model from Adidas? Or does the brand say, hey, Mandip, I have a ticket for this, but you need to choose certain model? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can go either way, right? Sometimes you have to do the pitch. Sometimes they have an idea which they want to bring to you, or they want to push a certain model. So it can work both ways. But I mean, with a lot of brands, you just got to be lucky that they approach you first in the first place. It's not easy to pitch to a brand, but I mean, I 100% agree with Shige in that, you know, you want to kind of represent the brand DNA, the identity. Like even with this Adidas collab, we kind of went with the historical colorway, but give a twist. But I mean, to your point, yeah, I think it's just being in the right time, the right opportunity, and hopefully they come to you, because if they come to you, you know it's going to get done.
But can you choose the shoe model? My question. Like meaning I go in and say, I don't want to do a forum, I want to do a samba. Is that possible or?
I wish it was so easy, and that's the pitch, right? Of course, you can, you know, say, you know, I want to do this, but they might come back to you and say, hey, no, you know what? Our focus this year is on this, right? So you might not always get what you want, but you know, it's still better than nothing, and
Sure.
you take it. And being a small country, or what, sometimes, you know, beggars can't be choosers kind of thing, and you work with what you got. And I think everybody should remember that, you know, you do the best with the tools they give you.
How about you, Mark? Have you ever walked into a meeting and say, man, I want to do this model. Can you try to make it happen for me?
So this brings me back to the Nike SB collab at the same, I think more than 15 years ago. And so Dennis called me into the meeting, and I was presented 2 projects on the table. So this is like, I'm like fucking blessed, right? So there's 2 projects. One is called, I don't know if you remember, there was a project called Nike Considered back in the day.
Yes.
It's sustainable materials.
Yes.
That was so ahead of this time. And Nike SB.
It was so ahead, nobody remembered.
Nobody
Yeah.
remembered, so
Nobody remembered.
never mind.
Yeah. So lucky you took Dang SB, right?
So I've always been a skateboarder. I've been skating for the past 30 plus years. So back then it's like, hey, I resonate with Nike SB way more. So I was given the opportunity to choose, and being a young man starting out this, I was thinking like, oh, every project is going to be like that. But no, all right? So it forces me to expand my creative vision, to be like a designer, to design for different purposes, to work with different people to express their concepts and all that, using my aesthetics. So yeah, that's how we evolve.
How about Shige-san? When a brand approaches Shige-san, do they present the shoe model to him and say, I want you to collaborate with this? Or Shige-san choose from the archive?
一番最初は自分たちがやりたいものを通してもらってたけど、まあ、ここ数年はやっぱりブランドがプッシュするものっていうのをベースにやってることが多いです。
From the beginning, he offer for the sports run what he wanna do, but in these days, sports run offer him what they wanna sell.
でも僕が思うのはなんか最近も多いけどコラボレーションは売れたけどインラインは売れなかったみたいなことが多くて、でも僕たちは基本的にその新しいスニーカーを広めるためにコラボレーションをやってるから、結局コラボレーションだけが売れてるのじゃ意味がなくて、インラインまできちんと売れるっていうことになんかそれがベストだと思ってるから、そこは常に意識してます。
He think about it. At these days, collaboration or like high tier product, everybody wants to do that. But his idea, he don't want to do make a difference between collaboration and inline, because inline is the most important for the sports run. So at the same time, he want to do selling with marketing. He want to do collaboration. But at the same time, he always think about how to sell the inline as well. That's his thought in these days.
In the year of 2022, this year, how many collaboration tickets Shige-san has been offered?
いや休んでます。 でそのフォーラムのアスクっていう企画はやったけど、それ以外本当のコラボレーションは休んでます。
Actually, now he's taking a rest collaboration in these days. Just ask shoes for Adidas Forum collaboration.
で理由はなんか今このなんかハイプなものがすごい過熱してる状況を見た時に、何か僕らが今コラボレーションやる必要が全くないんじゃないかと思って、だから極端な話ハイプなものは売れてるけど、どこでも売ってるなんか本来のインラインっていうものがおろそかになんかされちゃってるから、その状況の中でそこにさらに僕らがプッシュする必要はないと思って今はそうしてます。
Actually, in these days, everyone focus on the hype shoes, which is a collaboration or topic shoes. Shige doesn't want to put together for his shoes. That's a different meaning. So in these days, he just chill out because he calmed down. Everybody wanna do collaboration. That means he don't wanna do that at the same time.
The go against the trend, not so hype.
No enter, just take a rest.
He's done so many now, he can afford to
I
be
know.
very selective,
I
right?
know. Okay, shameless plug. Okay, Monday, are you working on any collaboration right now? You don't have to reveal what, but is there any collaboration in the book that you kind of like want to let people know, like it's happening soon?
I mean, next year, me and Mark actually celebrate our 20th anniversary. Limited edition being born, his SBTG brand starting out. So I think we purposely made it a point to work together on some collaboration. So you'll see some from us. I don't think we should reveal too much. So I mean, he 100% has his own projects. I have my own projects. So I think 2023 we have a lot to look forward to, and I hope you guys support that. And I think it's going to be a big year next year. Yeah.
Mark, we can talk beyond sneakers, you know.
Yeah.
So meaning it can be like a watch, you know. You just got your IWC collab, so you can talk about that as well.
I try to do beyond sneakers, so it's like a checklist. So being in this industry, to stretch myself as a designer, I wanna be of value to like brands and stuff. So I think the checklist that I have so far are lots of sneakers, like one every single year of my career, and then I also done like a whiskey bottle, and then that was really cool. And then the next one was a credit card, which was damn cool. And then like, and most recently, was the first streetwear brand in the world to work with a luxury watch brand, IWC. And
Shout out.
many more to come. Hopefully, I keep pushing that boundaries. And at the end of the day, we are writing Singapore's history. It all belongs to all of us. So that's the way I see it.
Any collaboration Shige-san has planned in the book, maybe for next year?
今そのフットボールのワールドカップが盛り上がっていると思うんですけど、来年とあるブランドでスニーカーの世界にもワールドカップが開催されるから、みんな楽しみにしててください。
And this year, right now, the World Cup for football is exciting for everybody. So for next year, the Sneaker World Cup is coming. From sports front, we are not mentioned here, but it's coming soon for next year. No, I mean sports front organized the Sneaker World Cup for next year.
Wow, Sneaker World
Yeah.
Cup. What, in Japan?
No.
Worldwide. So there will be a Sneaker World Cup next year, 2023. How do you get qualified? How do you get selected to join? Is there a rule?
Can Singapore be in the Sneaker World Cup? Because obviously we're not going to be in the real World Cup.
突然手紙が届きました。
Yeah, invitation just come.
So you need an invitation to enter the Sneaker World Cup. Wow. Okay, 2023 Sneaker World Cup. Wow. I think we have like 5 minutes, but one last question, okay? Dream collab. dream. It can be anything beyond sneakers. It can be sneakers. If you can just dream about that collab, what collab would that be? One.
Oh my God, very tough. I mean, it's so difficult for me, but
Say Nike.
I mean, it will be Nike because that's what I grew up with, right? That's close to my heart, right? So for me, just going with my aesthetic my dream one would be, because I'm not a Jordan fan, I never was, so mine's going to be a MX-90 for me personally.
MX-90. You hearing here, Nike? MX-90. How about you, Mark? Dream collab. Any brand, any medium, yeah.
I mean, off the top of my head, I want to say a Jordan 1, but that's quite expected. So I don't know. Like I don't have. I'm kind of like ready for anything, and I stop chasing or expecting. So I think that's a good mindset to have because you can be ready for anything, and when your dream one comes, you are always ready. So, like, yeah, I was born ready.
How about Shige-san? Any dream collaboration? Anything?
まあでもみんなコラボレーションって何がきっかけで始まるんだろうってすごい思ってると思うので、今みんなが目の前にしてるこのトークショーが次のコラボレーションのきっかけになれたらいいなと思ってます。
Everyone curious about how to start a collaboration project. He will show you how to start a project from here because everyone is seeing this conversation. So that's his wondering what he wanna do in the future.
Yeah, I forgot. The dream collab always been is to design SAF sneaker for SAF. So everybody will be issued that sneaker and they go for overseas exercise. The other soldiers were like, yo, because it's only can be issued, you cannot buy
Anybody
it.
from the government here that
Yeah.
can, you want to give everybody a coolness factor, like look for him to design the next SAF sneaker, please.
Yeah, and the second one would be like something for SIA, the kabaya and stuff. So, yeah, or like a plane, you know, like that'd be freaking cool, right? So,
I think why don't we open one question because Douglas just tapped me on my feet and say no more question, but I'm a rebel. I want to do one question, just one. Anybody have a solid question? If it's a good question, we can have two questions. Feroz, any question? No? Anyone from floor, Kiwi? Anybody want to ask anybody here a collaboration question? He's like, no. He's like, no. Anybody? No?
we covered a lot.
Okay. If not, I want to thank everybody here. Shout out to Shige, shout out to Shinya, shout out to Mark, shout out to Mandip. I want to shout out to Whis, Shitano-san,
Yes.
Katsu-san, Fuminichi,
Ichi-san.
and all Culture Cartel guests and exhibitors. You guys made it happen. This is a real collaboration because you guys are here.
Yes.
Give it up.